I'm not saying that there are things that you will not have to process and work through, and it will become far easier as you are in satsang and begin to look, because nobody is here is perfect in that way from the human standpoint. People will make the mistakes and do things, sometimes willfully also. Sometimes willfully. We remember the life of Milarepa. He was a murderer, killed many, many people, repented and became one of the greatest sages of Tibet. So everything is possible for someone. You should never think that what you have done is unforgivable. Rather search to be free of the mindset that compels us to do things, that causes pain, and you know, there was a time in Japan, actually, when it was believed that if you were a woman, you could not be enlightened. And the whole nation believed it. Such is the nature of beliefs, you know. And that it was a time of a great Zen master called Bankai. And so there was these beliefs, and it was commonly upheld even by the religious fraternity and so on. Nobody would address this. But he came along and he began to challenge in a very colloquial, very simplistic, could speak to the people, and they loved him because he just actually threw out all these cobwebbed ideas about life. They brought to him one time a woman who was so depressed because all she lived for was for freedom. And then she was told, sorry, madam, you have to come back as a man, and then you may stand a chance to be free. And she was so disheartened, so deeply wounded by that obstacle, And then along comes Bankai and just said, but this is complete nonsense. How could we believe something like this, and if you did this, and gave many shining examples to people. And so much liberated, so many people from anguish who believed that they were born the wrong gender, These beliefs can do this, So I am feeling in my heart very happy to say to anyone, this life is for freedom. Even if you've done something very wrong, you repent of it. You say, I'm sorry I did this, but from my state of mind at the time, I didn't know better and I did this. Would I be forgiven? Yes, you are forgiven. From the very moment you earnestly seek forgiveness, you are forgiven of that, and continue to sorry, I feel a bit emotional about it. Continue to search for the truth and be free. You see? Because everyone, I have not met someone I feel is not the self. But I've met beings whose life is held hostage by certain pains and beliefs and things that were told to them that has really suffocated their life. And I have to tell you, this is not true. Everyone can be free. When people come here, I don't ask, what is your background? Do you have any criminal record and all this type of stuff? You are, by coming here, you show yourself as a candidate for freedom. That is enough for me. In our culture, we often don't have this view. As soon as we feel unwell, we start to take things sometimes to suppress the illness, which is maybe a kind of burping out of some conditions, psychological, physical, physiological things that need to be burped out. And the mind says, oh, look, I've become sick now. Very often, many people come to satsang, they fall for what we call satsang flu. They come to satsang and then they show up it's satsang. satsang. We've had satsangs even in India where half the people are, they got diarrhea. How can half people get diarrhea, like this? And they're down and they're in their rooms, moaning and groaning and stuff. And I tell them, listen, come up into the main hall and lie on your bed. We take your bed, your mattress up there, and you have satsang there. And if you have to leave it quickly, we will help you. You see? And people come and they go through these states very quickly. So don't worry, anything is bad happening to you. Of course, as I said before, there are these energies, and I don't want to trivialize them, because if you believe in them, then they can have a grip on your life in some way, on your body-mind expression. Because very many people believe that they're merely their bodies and their minds and personalities. As you begin to discover that you are the self, the imperishable self, then all these things begin to change. All these things begin to change. I would not really be thinking like that. You have to go through this and go through. Just stay in the place that you have discovered. Just stay in the place that you have discovered. That stillness, stay in that stillness, and let whatever is coming up, let it come, and you watch it from the stillness. It's like you're looking out somehow from this vastness, and all this little traffic of sensation, the body, just don't think about it. Don't start to phrase it like, must we go through this bridge? Is it predestined that I must go through this to reach? Forget about it. Just you stay in the emptiness and watch these things. It doesn't matter, they're coming out, but you are just the all you are perceiving is just the vastness. There's just the vastness, and things are going in the body. They're moving in the body, and it doesn't matter. You're just the vastness. Just stay there. Don't start to form any conclusions about what you're experiencing. It will soon be gone. It is being belched out, burped out. And don't think you have to understand the kind of biological details and what is needed. No, just you stay as the emptiness, the vastness. Just let it come, and it goes. And you see that in this, there's none of that. None of that has left any kind of footprints at all in this. You are here, you are this. And this somehow, all that was in some way connected to the sense of presence and so on, but it's almost like you don't know anything. Maybe it's not good to say that to anybody. Sometimes people start to speak too early. They get into conversations with people, and they start to say things like, there's nobody here. Just keep quiet. Don't say things, and just don't speak about it. And continue to marinate and mature in your seeing, and enjoy and deepen in it. And by itself, you just continue in your life, in your natural movement in life. You go where you have to go, do what you have to do, meet who you meet. But there will not be this arrogance in you. It's drying up. All these judgments, they're drying up. All this kind of intellectual pride is drying up. You're not that anymore. Something here is much more beautiful here. Move in that. Don't talk about that. When that talks, or that moves in some way, then something beautiful emerges. But if the person is there, because for a while the person is hanging around to see if there's some business, So don't give him a chance. You just stay put in there. And gradually, it will lose its influence over your mind. This darker energy will go. Whether it's an energy or an entity, whatever, it will not be dominating your life or holding the beingness hostage in some way. You will just lose that ground. So for a while, you must be strong. And then you find you are all the strength that is needed. But don't give in to these energies, and because while you are newly born, in a sense, there are some vulnerabilities and there's a feeling like that, but you're not alone. But at the same time, there's an intelligence with you. You know what to avoid that and then move away from that. You're just going to stay by yourself for a little bit. Give your life just that bit of space. Give that amount of time. That is self-respect. And be with that and mature in that so that your light it cannot be extinguished. And you will know that.